Most people don't realise how much they're actually paying for their car when they finance it until it's too late. I learned this the hard way, and today I'm going to be sharing the strategy that could save you thousands on your next car purchase. I'll never forget the day that I drove out of the car dealership with my brand new white Honda Civic Sport. I was 18 and I was sat there, seat back, arm up, with the biggest smile on my face. With a low deposit and even lower monthly payments, I thought I'd scored an unreal deal. Fast forward 10 years, I'm now a qualified accountant with a proper understanding of how money actually works. So today I'm going to be making a video that I wish I'd seen before I bought that car. I've gone out and I've got various quotes for financing and lease options, and I've compared them to buying the car outright. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty surprised at the results. So in this video, I'll break down exactly how each car finance option works and reveal their true cost. You'll discover whether financing a car makes financial sense for your situation and what the smartest way is to buy a car without losing money. And I'm also going to be sharing a strategy that could save you thousands, one that you've probably never even thought about, and one the dealerships hope that you never find out about. Buying a car isn't just about walking into a dealership and picking out your favourite model. You've got three main options, each with its own financial impact. The first option is buying it outright. This is the most straightforward approach because you pay for the car in full, upfront, with no financing or loans, and you own the car completely from day one. What are the advantages? Well, you have no monthly payments, no interest, and the car is yours to keep for as long as you want. But the biggest drawback is the initial cost. Most people don't have 10, 20, or £30,000 lying around, so it's not always the best option for everyone. The second option is leasing, also known as personal contract hire. With leasing, you're essentially renting the car for a fixed term, and at the end of the lease, you then return the car to the dealership. Leasing offers low monthly payments with no deposit, and is perfect if you like driving a brand new car every few years, and you won't have to worry about selling it in the future. The downside is that you never actually own the car, and once the lease ends, you either return it or you can pay extra if you want to keep it. Also, there are usually strict mileage restrictions and charges for excess wear and tear on the car, so you could get charged an absolute fortune when it comes to giving the car back. The third option is financing, and this allows you to pay a deposit and then take out a loan for the remaining value, which you can then spread over several years. There are two main types of financing, and the first is hire purchase. This is where you make monthly payments until the car is fully paid off, so you own it outright. The second financing option is normally the most popular, and this is personal contract purchase, also known as PCP. This is where you make lower monthly payments, and at the end you have three options. You can either renew and choose another car, you can return and give the car back to the dealership, or you can retain the car by paying a final balloon payment. The benefit of financing is that it makes expensive cars more affordable on a month-to-month basis. And it also means you don't have to worry about maintenance, as they are usually covered by a warranty. But here's what dealerships don't emphasize. You always end up paying significantly more because of interest. So let's get into the actual figures. How much do all of these options actually cost you? For this example, we'll be looking at a popular family car. A Ford Focus costing around £28,000 for the entry-level model. We'll calculate the cost of driving the car for 3 years, assuming we can then sell it at the end for £14,000. We're going to be excluding ongoing costs like insurance, tax, and maintenance because they're going to be roughly the same for all three options. So first is buying the car outright. So we'll pay a purchase price of £28,000, and then after 3 years, we'll then sell that for £14,000. So the car has effectively cost us £14,000 to drive it for 3 years. Pretty straightforward, that's how we like it. Next up is leasing, and on a 3-year contract with no initial deposit, the monthly payments are coming out at around £500. So over the course of the 3 years, you'll pay £18,000. But remember that as it is a lease, the car goes back to the dealership. And it's also worth keeping in mind that you may be charged extra for going over the agreed mileage or any damage that has been incurred. So now for the finance options, and the first is the hire purchase agreement. So I got quoted a 15% deposit, which is £4,000, so we then need to take out a loan for the remaining £24,000. And the interest rates I got quoted were around 11%. So the total that you're going to have paid over 3 years is £32,000. But with the hire purchase agreement, you now own the car. So you can then sell that car for £14,000, so the total cost of the ownership is £18,000. So now the most popular option, the PCP contract. So the deposit and monthly payments will cost you £22,000 over a 3-year period. But you're now at the end of your contract, you now need to pay £11,500 in order to keep the car. So let's say you pay this amount, the car has now cost you £33,500. But you can sell it for £14,000, meaning the total cost of your ownership is £19,500. But if you come to the end of your PCP agreement and you don't want to keep the car, you want to give it back to the dealership, then this has now cost you £22,000. So if we compare that to the lease, you're in the same position, but you've paid more money. So my question to you is, have you ever calculated your total interest payments? Most people don't, and this is exactly what the dealerships count on. As you can see, PCP is often the worst deal financially, but it's what dealerships push the hardest because it's their most profitable option. My Honda Civic was on a PCP, and when the agreement ended, I couldn't afford the balloon payment. So what did I do? I traded it in for another car on PCP, repeating the same expensive mistake. And this is exactly what the dealerships want you to do, because they just keep making money. As Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I don't know what I was thinking by taking out another PCP contract. So clearly buying outright seems the best option on paper. But before you rush down to your local dealership with a briefcase full of cash, there's something else to consider: the opportunity cost. The difference between buying it outright and a hire purchase agreement is £4,000. But financing means you keep more of your money in your own pocket, which opens up an interesting possibility. What if you could make more than £4,000 by investing that money elsewhere? This could be a property that generates rental income, stocks and shares that grow over time, or even your own business. For example, if you invested £24,000 in something returning just 6% annually, you'd make about £4,600 over 3 years. And this is more than covering the £4,000 extra cost of financing. This is why wealthy people often finance their purchases even when they have got the cash to pay for it. They understand that their money can work harder elsewhere. So now here's a strategy that most people overlook that could save you thousands on your next car purchase. The moment you drive a brand new car out of the dealership, it actually loses 10 to 20% of its value almost instantly. But if you buy a car that's 1 to 2 years old, you're actually letting the first owner of that car take that hit. With that £28,000 Ford Focus example, buying a 1-year-old version with low mileage might cost you £22,000 to £24,000, instantly saving you £4,000 to £6,000 while still getting a nearly new car. Car dealerships love finance deals because they make money off the interest. But if you go directly to a bank or loan provider, you can often secure a much lower interest rate. That 11% rate might just drop down to 5% with a bank loan. And on a £20,000 loan, this difference alone saves you approximately £2,500 in interest over 3 years. And here's what almost no one considers. Many dealerships allow you to pay part of the purchase off with a credit card. And there are plenty of credit cards offering 0% interest for 18 to 24 months, or maybe even longer. So if you put £5,000 of the purchase on a credit card where you're going to pay no interest, then this alone could save you £500 to £1,000 in interest. Combining these strategies could easily save you £5,000 to £8,000 on your next car purchase. That's money that stays in your pocket rather than going to the dealership. And did you know that buying a car could potentially reduce your tax bill? If you purchase a car for your business, you may be able to write off the car's expense against your business income. So if you buy a £30,000 car, this would save you £6,000 in tax. And if you're VAT registered, you can also claim back the VAT that you paid on the car. So this would be an instant 20% saving. Buying a car is more than just a purchase. It's a financial decision that impacts your budget for years. So whether you're buying it outright, financing, or leasing, understanding the true long-term cost is essential. Buying a car on finance without being aware of the true cost of debt is just one of the money habits that can stop you from achieving financial freedom. So if you want to break free from the habits that are keeping you poor, then you should watch this video right here where I reveal the money mistakes that most people make and how you can avoid them.